We recently traveled to Dakar, which is the capital of Senegal in the north. It's actually the westernmost point of Africa. It's only about an 8-hour flight from New York. Dakar is surrounded by desert, and it's a fascinating city. There are people on the sidewalk selling everything from shoes to coconuts to windshield wipers. The big market in town is called the Tylene Market. It's absolutely incredible. It's acres and acres and acres. You can buy anything you want, from giant barracuda to sides of beef. And finally, we got to do some home cooking, and there's great home cooking in Senegal. Now, two of the dishes we really loved: chicken yassa, which is cooked with just a ton of onions, and the other dish we liked was a very simple salad made with mangoes and avocados, and a green topping called ruff, R-O-F, which they use on almost everything. So today on Milk Street, please stay tuned. We travel to Senegal to find great meals for weeknight cooking.
Funding for this series was provided by the following.
Ferguson's proud to support Milk Street and culinary crusaders everywhere. For more information on our extensive collection of kitchen products, we're on the web at fergusonshowrooms.com.
For 25 years, Consumer Cellular's goal has been to provide wireless service that helps people communicate and connect. We offer a variety of no-contract plans, and our U.S.-based customer service team can help find one that fits you. To learn more, visit consumercellular.tv.
Cooking happens in the kitchen, but life happens around the kitchen table. The 1919 collection, celebrating yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Visit us at www.1919cookware.com.
So when we were in Dakar, Senegal, one night we actually ate at the hotel, which is, I know, lame, but we did. It was a long day, and I ordered the chicken yassa, which is chicken with onions, a classic Senegalese dish. It was really interesting, as it wasn't just chicken with onions. It had this wonderful flavor to it. It's just a great dish. So it's chicken, it's onions, it's a classic American combination, but we thought we'd bring that back to Milk Street and make it here.
So the thing about chicken yassa is it sounds like it's just chicken and onions, but there are a lot of really bold flavors in it. But it's really important to balance those flavors. So you're getting some sweetness, some sour, a little bit of heat, and the savory flavors from the chicken. So it's a really simple recipe, which makes it a perfect Milk Street recipe. So the first thing that we're going to do is start with a chicken marinade. It starts with 3 tablespoons of peanut oil. Peanut oil is the predominant oil used in Africa. And then we have 3 tablespoons of lime zest. So this is typically made with all lime juice. We found that it made it a little bit too sour. Zest has all that flavor without the acidity. And then we have your favorite, 1 minced habanero pepper. Scotch bonnet is common in Africa, super, super spicy. A habanero is a cousin of that. Not quite as spicy, but it's going to really pack some heat.
Well, you know, they like it so much. I was cooking one day with Alice. She makes these jars of a salsa made out of Scotch bonnets. I mean, it's the major condiment there, and it's really good.
And then a tablespoon of salt and a teaspoon of black pepper. And I'm just going to whisk these together. It's kind of a paste at this point. And so before I add the liquid ingredients to this, I'm going to take out a little bit of this really, really flavorful paste. And we're going to save that, it's 2 teaspoons of this, for the very end and add it to our sauce. So now we're going to add the liquid to this. So I've got 6 tablespoons of lime juice and then a 1/4 cup of water.
That's a very flavorful ingredient. Why are you adding water to this?
Well, that's because we're going to add some chicken bouillon concentrate. So this is 2 teaspoons. That's going to add a lot to this dish. It's got really savory flavors, a little bit of salt. All right, so that's all finished. Now I'm going to add the chicken. So I have 2 pounds of chicken breast. These are cut in half. That's going to allow them to cook a little bit faster. Also, it's going to give us a lot more surface area for this marinade. And then chicken yassa is as much a chicken dish as it is an onion dish. So you'll see we have a pretty hearty bowl of onions here.
I would say so, yeah.
This is 3 medium yellow onions that we sliced thin, and we're actually gonna put these in the marinade. It's gonna kind of do double duty here. The onions are gonna flavor the marinade, and the marinade is gonna flavor the onions. So I'm just gonna toss everything together.
So we did a little bit of research on onions because obviously there's so many onions in the dish. We wondered if it mattered what kind of onion you used.
Right.
Here's what we found. Yellow onion is very pungent when raw, but then becomes quite sweet when you cook it as a nice balance of pungent and sweet. We like that a lot. That was our favorite. White onions are very mild, better raw than cooked. When they're cooked, they're a little watery and sort of bland. A red onion, they become very muddy when cooked. They weren't that sweet either, just a little too astringent, so we didn't like that. This is a Vidalia, which is sweet, raw and sweet when cooked, but it doesn't have a good balance of sweet and pungent, which we really like. So the yellow onion has the great balance and actually becomes a lot sweeter than it is when it's raw.
So we're gonna let this marinate an hour if you wanna leave it out at room temperature, or 2 hours in the refrigerator. So Chris, I took the chicken out of the marinade after an hour and I patted it dry. If you wouldn't mind heating up the tablespoon of peanut oil that we're actually gonna brown our chicken in over medium-high heat. I'm gonna drain these onions out of this marinade, and we're actually not gonna discard this. Normally you would discard the marinade at this point. We're actually gonna use this to cook the chicken in, and then that's eventually gonna become the sauce. So it's gonna get cooked, so there's no fear. We're gonna brown the chicken, but we're not going for crispy skin. We're just looking to get a little bit of flavor in the pan that we're gonna use to flavor our cooking liquid and our sauce.
I think we need a word to people who are obsessed about crispy skin.
I knew you would have something
Well,
to
it's
say
like
about
you
that.
need to get over it. I mean,
Right.
there's
I
like,
agree.
it makes cooking chicken much more difficult, and you also, it's harder to get a lot of flavor in the chicken if you're worried about liquid.
There's a purpose to browning other than crispy skin.
There you go.
So I'm gonna put these pieces in skin side down. And that's gonna take 4 to 5 minutes. Really wanna get some nice browning on there. That's gonna create a lot of fond on that pan that we're gonna use for flavor in our cooking liquid, which is eventually gonna become our sauce. So Chris, you wanna get some really nice golden brown color on here, which I think we've got. So I'm gonna take the chicken out. Now, you wanna have about a tablespoon of fat left in your pot. I think that's probably what we've got in here. If you look in here, if you have particularly fatty chicken, you might want to drain a little bit of that out. If you don't have chicken that's fatty enough, you might want to add a little bit of extra fat here, but you want to end up with about a tablespoon left in there, because then we're going to add our onions. And then I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of water. We're gonna just use that water to deglaze the pan and scrape up all of those bits of flavor that are on the bottom here. So I'm gonna turn this down to medium, and we're gonna let this cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. We want them to be really nice and soft. They'll get a little bit of color on them, but we're really looking for the texture here. We want it to be nice and soft, so they'll almost like melt into this cooking liquid and into this sauce. So Chris, I tested the chicken and it's ready to come out. So I'm gonna transfer it to our serving platter.
Here, let me do something.
Ooh, so helpful.
This really, I mean, it has a really interesting aroma. You know,
It
it's not
does.
just chicken and onions.
No, it's definitely not. You can definitely smell that lime juice that's in here. Thank you, if you just wanna put that over there. And then I'm gonna turn the heat off, and I'm gonna add in that reserve paste that we made at the very beginning. So this is lime zest, peanut oil, a little bit of that habanero, and salt and pepper. And that's just gonna make this sauce really nice and bright. Those flavors are not gonna get cooked. We've used them throughout here, and they've kind of mellowed as they cooked, so we're gonna add this, you can smell it as it hits the pan, the lime. So it's gonna keep that bright flavor.
Okay.
So we're gonna move over here. I'm gonna sprinkle some chives on this chicken. Put a little bit of this sauce down.
Sauce is always the best part on top.
Oh, very nice.
Yes. You're probably gonna need this because it is saucy, right?
It's saucy.
This is like eating pasta on television.
Onions, stringy onions.
Oh. Boy, is that good. It has a little bite, it has the lime juice, but there's sweetness from the yellow onions. And
you definitely get that heat from that habanero pepper that's in there.
But what I really like is the yellow onion turns sweet when you cook it, and that balances out all the acidity, you know. So if you like chicken and you like onions, we suggest the pairing of chicken yassa. It has some heat, it has some sour, it has some sweet, and the marinade is used obviously to marinate the chicken, but also it cooks down into a sauce which is nice and tidy, the way we like it here at Milk Street. So chicken yassa, any day of the week, a great recipe from Senegal. Avocado mango salad, which was really delicious and simple.
Thank you. Yes, very simple too. This one is like a creation really, but it's also using local ingredients: avocado, mango, tomato that's been concassed, and like marinated with the same ruff, but with the ruff has been extended with the oil and some lime juice, and that becomes a dressing that just marinates the salad. Nice. You want to try it?
You're surprised by your own cooking? That's good. You're still
Exactly right. Right? So
That's surprisingly strong flavor. It's good. It's
yeah,
delicious.
you go around alongside with the dressing.
That's the chef in you. Nice plating.
Yeah, well, you know, you eat with your eyes first, right? You have to like.
What I like about this, it's so simple,
Isn't it, right? Simple.
but it's interesting.
Well, the salad is ready. Avocado, mango, for Chris. You know, try it and let me know what you think.
I will.
It's a little kick though. Don't forget you have a little spiciness to it. So the heat is, and the sweetness of the mango, so
Yeah.
it tames down the heat.
Everything in Senegal is about, there's bitter, there's sweet, there's strong. You're a very complicated guy.
Well, we are, and we like to have a balance, you know. We like to have all the flavors hit you where it's balanced, you know. Just have the fermented, don't forget the fermented is a big part of it too. Fermented, you have the acidity from the lemon or the lime, the brightness of the fruit, the sweetness of the mango, and you have also the acidity that comes from the tomato as well, you know, and the herbaceousness from the parsley, it's lots of parsley. So it really gives some freshness to it. The whole dish is a perfect spring salad.
You talked to me about the former president of Senegal being a poet. Are you related to him? Are you his son? He's a poet chef.
Well, we all somewhat related to him in Senegal, growing up in his shadow in a way, you know, you used to.
This is delicious. I mean,
Thank
it's
you.
simple, but you're right. It's sweet, it's strong, it's acidic.
I think the simplest are the better, always.
Now, we spent a few days in Dakar, and one of those days we spent in a private home. Pierre Chum, who was the chef from New York who took us around, he was born in Dakar. A friend of his owns the house. It sits right above the Atlantic, quite nice. Little pool, which I did not get to use. And we spent the time in the kitchen, of course, with Alice, the cook, who was there, and also Pierre. And he made a number of things. Now, one of the things I really liked was ruff, R-O-F. And it's parsley, scallions, garlic, and they use Scotch bonnet peppers a lot in Senegal, as you know. If you don't add anything else to it, it's a stuffing like for fish, because they eat a lot of fish, obviously. It's a coastal cuisine. Or if you add some lime juice and oil, you can turn it into a dressing, which we did. And then he made up this really quick salad. I think it was his invention, actually, avocados and mangoes with the ruff dressing. It was just absolutely perfect and really simple. So your job is to replicate that salad here. As I said, it's dead simple, takes about 10 minutes to make. It was just delicious. So.
I love this salad. You brought it back. The idea was great. It's got these remarkable flavors and textures. Love the flavors. It's sweet, sour, salty, hot. You know I like the hot, right?
Yeah, I do know. Well, those little Scotch bonnets are pretty hot. Yeah.
They are, but you know, they have this remarkable fruity flavor. and I think it does remarkable things to fruit, and love it with tomatoes. So I always add habanero to gazpacho, that sort of thing, but it's great in the ruff. So let's make that ruff. We're gonna start with 2 cups of flat leaf parsley. Do use flat leaf. Curly parsley doesn't have as much flavor. So we're gonna throw that in the food processor.
Now, I would point out that they use a mortar and pestle all the time, everywhere in Senegal, everyone has them. And the mortar is about this tall, it's wooden, and the pestle is also about that long. And then gravity does most of the work. You pull it up, you don't have to really pound too much with your hand, you just keep doing that, and it does a great job. So this also does a great job, but.
So to the parsley, we're gonna add 4 scallions, just coarsely chopped. We're gonna add 2 garlic cloves. And now we're gonna talk about that habanero again. Scotch bonnet habanero. You can seed it to remove some of the heat. Most of the chili's heat is in the seeds and ribs, or you can leave it whole. So I'm gonna leave this up to you. Are we gonna seed it or leave it whole?
No, we're gonna man up here, and you really don't want to seed it, right?
I don't.
Okay, so we won't seed it.
All right.
So we blame you if it's too hot.
Yes. So I'm just gonna pop that top off. If you do wanna take the seeds out, just have it lengthwise and scrape out the seeds with the tip of a knife. So we're gonna add that. We're gonna add a teaspoon of kosher salt and then ½ teaspoon of black pepper. So we're gonna put the lid on here and we're gonna process it for about a minute. So at this point, the parsley, the garlic, the chilies are chopped pretty finely. I know, you can smell it. You can smell that heat.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. I'll just thank you now instead of thanking you later.
At this point, we're gonna add a teaspoon of grated lime zest, ¼ cup of lime juice, it's about a lime. And then one of my favorite ingredients in this is roasted peanut oil. And if you can smell it, give it a whiff. It's got really toasted, rich flavor, and it helps really round out the flavors in this dish. So it's about a ¼ cup there. At this point, we're gonna process it for about 30 seconds longer. We just wanna emulsify those ingredients.
I would say, though, if you can't find roasted peanut oil, which you can't always find easily, just
Correct.
you can use any kind of oil, really. Yeah.
You can. Extra virgin olive oil is really nice because it picks up the fruitiness of the habanero. So it's been 30 seconds, and you can tell the dressing's really well blended. You can just smell that. I mean, it's just so aromatic. And, I mean, as you said, you can put this on just about anything.
And if you hadn't added the oil to it and the lime juice, it would be sort of a rough, dry mash. It could be used for stuffing. You can put it under chicken skin. You could use that too.
I have put it under chicken skin mixed with a little butter, and you just pack it in, and you can refrigerate that overnight and roast it or even grill it. So mangoes can be tricky to peel, right?
Is this like Matt the Magnificent? This is going to be a magic trick?
No, I don't really have any secrets, but I do have a clean way of doing this here.
Okay.
So first of all, I'm going to take the top and bottom off. Whenever you're cutting something round, three-dimensional, you want to create a stable work surface. Now I'm going to peel it. I love peeling mango. They have that really silky, almost waxy texture.
Now, a lot of people would just cut the sides off, right? Cut a dice into it and then cut that off the skin.
That works too. I think it's a lot harder to do it that way. And for this salad, we want nice, tidy slices. So there's the first one. Repeat the process with the second one. Okay, now it's time to slice it. So put the mango down on the thick end because it's broad and very stable. And then use a knife to just cut along the pit to create nice planks of mango. And turn it around. The knife is just gonna hug that pit. And then when you have the bigger fillets cut off, you can just cut the sides.
You make that look so easy.
I try. You can sort of shave off the rest around the pit, or you get the cook's treat, right? You sort of nibble away. But when you have these nice planks, it's very easy to then just cut tidy slices.
Actually, I do like this method better than cutting it off with the skin intact.
So we have the sliced mango, and at this point, we're gonna transfer it to a bowl. You can use a bench scraper, but I always like just using my broad knife. And I can repeat with the second mango. So we have our 2 sliced mangoes, and at this point, we're gonna toss them with 3 tablespoons of that dressing and let it marinate for about 30 minutes. It allows the flavors to really blend and soften that mango texture a little bit, and it turns out really silky and soft.
Now, I just point out that in Senegal, Pierre just made the salad and then dressed it, and we ate it. So I just want you to know he's a better host than you because I didn't have to wait 30 minutes. I could just have the salad.
I'll make you a cocktail while you wait, okay? So it's been 30 minutes. You've had your cocktail. We're all good to go here.
Now you're going to show me how to slice an avocado?
I can. Let's put the mango down first. As you can tell, it looks a little different. It's softened. You can smell it. It's terrific. So I'm going to put it on the platter here. We're going to layer it out because we're going to put everything on top of this. It smells great. It looks great. The mango's softened a bit. They're really glossy. Can't wait to eat this.
You know, avocado and mango, you'd never think of as a pairing, but it is. You're going like, oh, yes, you would.
Yeah,
no,
you would.
it's a really good pairing. So anyway.
It's really good pairing in part because of the textures, right? You get this really silky, waxy texture of the mango contrasting with that really creamy avocado. So I'm going to put it on the board. I don't want to do it in my hand. I can't tell you how many injuries I've seen that way. So we're going to put the knife in right at the midpoint and just sort of rotate the avocado around the knife.
Yeah, that's a good technique.
And then you can divide it in half. And on the board, pointing away from you, you can take the knife, just give it a little. You can
just whack it down. Come on, just like.
Some of us like a little delicacy. At this point, you know, you have these two halves, and you can score it in the skin. But for tidier slices, I actually prefer taking the skin off first. So put the knife in at one end, and just the tip, and rotate that around the skin. And then you can peel right back. Right,
That's
like
pretty
that.
cool.
Yeah. I do know a trick
Once
or
in
two.
a while, yeah, you show me something I didn't know. That's a better way of doing it.
And at this point, you can just cut tidy slices. For really even slices, I follow the curve of the avocado. So I angle the blade a little. So we're going to take those slices and sort of scatter them over the mango. And we're going to repeat that with our second avocado. You don't have to be too artful about this, but you certainly can if you want. Now let's finish the salad. We're going to go back to the bowl that we'd marinated the mango in, and we're going to add our tomatoes. It's about a cup of chopped cherry tomatoes. We're going to toss those a little bit. Before we put the tomatoes down, we're going to dollop over another 3 tablespoons of that ruff. And after the dressing, we're going to add a few sprinkles of flaky sea salt. This stuff adds little bursts of salinity, so it really pops. And also, the crunchiness really helps accent the creaminess of the mango and the avocado. Don't ever cook with this stuff. Really, just keep it on the table or by the side of the range. And now, we're going to put those tomatoes right on top.
Oh, you need more salt.
More?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, salt. Come on, we like salt.
We do.
Okay, there you go.
Voila.
Boy, that looks. Well, also from a color perspective,
It's really pretty.
It's pretty. Yeah.
Now let's go ahead and serve that. It is very slippery. I think tongs are great for serving. Make sure to grab a little of everything.
Great, thank you.
Now we do have a little extra ruff if you want a little extra sauce on there.
Okay.
You ready?
So the first step is it looks good. Looks great. Okay.
It looks gorgeous.
That is so good. You know, the roasted peanut oil, which you don't have to use, but it does add a lot of flavor to this.
It does. It adds this warmth and depth to it that sort of underpins the fruitiness of the mango.
So I guess my trip to Dakar was a success. I mean, spending time with Pierre Chum is always great. But this salad, I think he actually made this up, the avocado mango salad with a ruff. It has the roasted peanut oil, it has the habanero, it has scallions, it has parsley, it has the sweetness from the mango. It's really a great salad. It's also incredibly simple to make. So you can get this recipe, the Senegalese avocado mango salad from Pierre Chum, and all the recipes from this season of Milk Street Television at our website, milkstreettv.com.
Funding for this series was provided by the following.
Ferguson's proud to support Milk Street and culinary crusaders everywhere. For more information on our extensive collection of kitchen products, we're on the web at fergusonshowrooms.com.
For 25 years, Consumer Cellular has been offering no-contract wireless plans designed to help people do more of what they like. Our U.S.-based customer service team can help find a plan that fits you. To learn more, visit consumercellular.tv.
Cooking happens in the kitchen, but life happens around the kitchen table. The 1919 collection, celebrating yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Visit us at www.1919cookware.com.